Back to Beaver Stadium, a beautiful day for Big Ten football, our game between Northwestern and Penn State. Let's welcome in now the third member of our crew on the sidelines today, Quint Kesnick. Quint.
Thanks, Craig. Penn State's offense has really struggled this season. One of the lone bright spots, though, has been the play of Michael Robinson. They call him the Band-Aid because he's played wide receiver, quarterback, and even taken some snaps at tailback. Now, what sets Robinson apart, his ability as explosiveness to make the big play for Penn State. Today, he's going to line up as a wide receiver against Northwestern's bump and run coverage. Look for Mills and Robinson to form a great tandem on the outside.
And he's warming up on the bicycle. Can't get enough warm-ups down there. He even rides the bike during the game, Charles.
Well, if you're a prime-time athlete, you got to stay warm and you got to stay fresh. And Michael Robinson is one of those guys. I hope to see him more wide receiver because that is where he's most effective.
And he's got his hand up. Crowd ready to go here. Another near sellout crowd at Beaver Stadium. And the opening kick, Northwestern will receive. Terrell Jordan deep downfield to take this one back for Northwestern, and he doesn't even make it up to the 20-yard line. So good special teams play to open up the game for Penn State. And Northwestern goes on offense. Now there's quarterback Brett Basney, the junior out of Arlington Heights, Illinois, second in the Big Ten in completions, passing yards, and total offense. And he has set the pace all season long, and you could say maybe he's struggling a bit over the last few weeks. The numbers aren't there. He's coming back from an injury earlier this season as well.
They don't want him to press too much, but they need to get big plays from Brett Basney.
And Noah Herron takes the opening handoff and gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage for Northwestern as we take a look at the starting lineups now for the backs and the receivers. The Wildcats lose their top receiver, Mark Fillmore, for the season, so it's up to freshman Kim Thompson and company.
And you're going to see a lot of runs behind Zach Street, the big right tackle. They have to run behind him to be effective.
So no gain for the Wildcats and their opening drive of the first quarter. Basney steps up over center, then back in the shotgun. Herron gets the call again, straight up the gut to the 25-yard line, picks up about 5, maybe 6 yards as we take a look at that Penn State defense now. No seniors on that defensive line, but Scott Paxson has played like one with 4 block kicks this season. The linebacking core, the true freshman Dan Connor in for the injured Tim Shaw.
You look at Paul Cronin, the free safety, has to have a big game. They need him to stop that Northwestern passing attack when they throw the football.
3rd down and 4 for the Wildcats. Crowd comes alive. They really liked what that defense has done for the Nittany Lions. Basney over the middle. This one falls incomplete. And he was looking for Sean Herbert over the middle.
Basney had an opportunity to hit the receiver, Sean Herbert, on a dig route, deep in. All he had to do was put it there. Those are the kind of things that sometimes Brett will start off slow by throwing too high, too hard. That was a situation where you have a wide open receiver play pitch and catch.
So Basney stayed out on the field for a moment, but it is 4th down and 4. There's Randy Walker in his 6th season at Northwestern, trying to get the Wildcats in position for be eligible for the bowl at the end of the year. Here's the punt. Kelvin Lowry takes it about his 38-yard line, trying to find some running room, but he is brought down as he crosses the 45 down at the 46-yard line. 36-yard punt, a 3-yard return. There is Zach Mills, the Penn State quarterback, returns after missing the last 2 games with a concussion, hopes to redirect this struggling offense. This is only his 7th game of the season because of injuries.
Greg, you got to know he may be looking over his shoulder. Number 14, Anthony Morelli, is right there. He doesn't play well, which this offense hadn't played all year. You will see the freshman, Anthony Morelli.
And Joe Paterno told us yesterday we expect to see the freshman at some point in the game. Try a little trickery to open it up. Michael Robinson getting chased, looking to pass, and he is picked off. At the 33-yard line, Northwestern has the football. Dominic Price read it well, and Joe Paterno surprisingly opening up.
I don't like this call right off the bat because You need to establish something going. And Michael Robinson, maybe you run the reverse with him. You can see it being set up. Now, Dominique Price, you're playing against some smart players from Northwestern. They seek it out. You have pressure coming from the backside from John Pickens, and Michael Robinson had this problem last week against Ohio State. You can't throw on the run like this and get it down to Tony Hunt.
So Northwestern has the football, and Herron takes the handoff. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but Quinn Kesnick told us they want to do something to get him involved. He's that talented. You also notice that Joe Paterno, during the warm-ups, as you see in his 39th season, he had Michael Robinson warming up a lot of quarterback.
He really did, but I think that's going to be the norm. Michael Robinson will come in and play a few plays at quarterback. He'll line up at receiver. The biggest thing is they need to get the season turned around, and they're looking for anything they can, and I know Northwestern was prepared for that trick right off the bat.
No gain for Herron. They've done a pretty good job stopping the run to open up. Now they chase Bazinet, and he throws this one incomplete out of bounds. Let's take a look now at our keys to the game, brought to you by Napa Auto Care Centers.
Some of you Penn State fans will say any play on offense, but big plays. They haven't had a lot of those, and that was a chance right there. They had to get a big play, but it was a risky one because of the situation. First down, you know Northwestern is looking for something when they see Michael Robinson.
And how about for the Northwestern Wildcats?
You have to have Herron rush for 100. He's averaged 119 yards in their 4 wins. I think 120 wins it for him today.
He's had positive gains and only 1 carry so far. This time the quick pass, good for the first down and more. Jonathan Fields has the football. Look at him go all the way down to the 30, inside the 20 before he's hauled out of bounds, and a flag comes in on the tackle at the end of the play. 51-yard gainer for the Wildcats.
These are the kind of plays that you have to stop if you're Penn State. You can't allow Jonathan Fields, who's the 8th receiver. He's in this area. He's going to run a bubble screen, get inside. There's going to be a lot of missed tackles all over there. He just steps up, makes the play, comes back underneath. Great blocking right there, but missed tackles right there. I talked about Paul Cronin. You see 29 come in there. The bubble screen was what Coach Bradley was afraid of. Tom Bradley, the defensive coordinator, was afraid that this would be the thing that could hurt them, and that did right away.
A face mask penalty was tacked on at the end of the run. And so the Wildcats now have the ball. 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at the 8.
Now, missed tackles normally hurt you, but against a team like Northwestern, you give them a chance on the road, that hurts you bad.
This time the handoff, the dive towards the end zone, and it'll be marked just short. Anwar Phillips, the tackle, and Herron gets his bell rung and is down on the sideline. And Phillips comes up a bit groggy as well. That was a helmet-to-helmet clash, Charles.
Right on the goal line, those guys met, and both of them are a little woozy right now. We'll show you on the replay, but this was one of those situations where you see Anwar Phillips doesn't quite know where he is. The DB at 180 pounds taking on 230-pound Noah Herron.
Well, that was a nasty collision right near the goal line. Herron was stopped short on the collision, but he is flat on his back right now. And Phillips trying to run off that grogginess, I'm sure. Let's take another look.
You could hear it all the way up here. These guys are going to converge right there. Anwar Phillips goes down, and then Noah Herron gets hit not only there. You see the arm go up almost like when you watch boxers and they get knocked out, and then Dan Connor comes over the top.
It looks like a pretty serious situation for the Wildcat training staff on the sideline after that nasty collision. Noah Herron, 3rd in the Big Ten in rushing, 1st in scoring, averaging just under 108 yards rushing a ball game. And good to see him at least sitting up on his own right now as he tries to get his bearings straight.
We talked about him being the key factor in the game because the versatility. He's probably their 2nd best receiver, very good blocker in the passing game, very good runner when he gets the ball, runs downhill.
See Randy Walker over to check out his star running back, and good to see him get up on his feet. Well, Randy Walker and Mike Dunbar were telling us this week that Herron, there's no question about it, that he is the best all-around running back they've ever had. Listen to this. That's a collision.
People talk about they want to see what it feels like to be on the field. That was a sound from what it'll feel like in here. Both of those guys are a little bit shaken up. Hopefully they'll be able to come back.
Terrell Jordan in to take his spot at running back, gets the handoff, goes straight ahead for the touchdown, and the Wildcats are on the board first here at Beaver Stadium.
1-yard carry by number 26, Terrell Jordan.
Ike Ndukwe, you saw him leading the way on the block for Jordan to get in the end zone. And Northwestern now trying to tack on the extra point, and they take the opening lead here in the first quarter.
Talk about a speed guy, but right there, so much power up the middle. Matt Ulrich, Trevor Reese, and Ndukwe. Good surge right inside and allowing Terrell Jordan, who they think is going to be a very good player, also junior out of Clarkston, Georgia, here at Northwestern.
Huffman in for the extra point. And it is good, so the Wildcats strike first. Herron was out, but the Wildcats still capitalized, taking a 7-0 lead. Northwestern ahead of Penn State 7-0 in the opening moments of the first quarter here at Beaver Stadium. Noah Herron got knocked out on the sideline the play before Northwestern scores, but they do go 5 plays, 67 yards in just a minute 7 as Jordan scores the touchdown. And now Ryan Huffman kicks off. And Scott takes the short kick, comes up over the 20-yard line, still on his feet, crosses the 35, and Penn State will be in good shape. Let's go for an update to Mike Leeson.
14-0 Buckeyes.
You don't know which Michigan State team you're going to get. I mean, they come out one week, put 50 on you, come out in one half, and can lose 50 on you.
They will miss Drew Statton, its quarterback. That much we do know. Loon goes out of the bubble there a bit. This time Hunt gets the carry. Good positive yards for Penn State. Well, let's take a look at the rest of the offense behind Zach Mills. There's other backs and receivers. Gerald Smith out with a leg injury. It's time now for true freshman Mark Rubin to step up for Penn State.
And for Mark Rubin to be effective, you need Tyler Reed, who's getting a start today in front of Scott Davis. Has to do a good job allowing this offense to be effective, not only in the running game, but in the passing game.
Pickup of about 6, so 2nd down and 4 for the Nittany Lions. Intercepted on an option from Michael Robinson on their very first play on offense in the game. This time Mills goes downfield, looks for Robinson, and this one falls out of bounds. He made the catch but couldn't get his feet in bounds.
That is the one thing Michael Robinson, he's trying to show the official, look, I got green, I didn't get white. One thing that he brings to this offense is versatility.
Take a look at that Northwestern starting lineup on the defensive line. Senior Colby Clark leads the way. Linebackers, no one better in the country. Last week at linebacker, the Tim McGargle, the National Player of the Week.
I'll tell you, Dominique Price, wherever 8 goes, big hits usually come. Had an interception in that first drive.
So 3rd down and 4 after the incomplete pass. Straight back in the pocket, dumps it off to Hunt, picks up the first down. Very good receiving back for Joe Paterno's Penn State Nittany Lions. He's one of their biggest threats at receiver.
I like Tony Hunt, and I like how he runs with the football. He's not going to do a whole lot, but they're going to set this up perfectly. If you stop it right there, look at these big guys out in front, able to give him all of that room to work. And what Tony Hunt does is that he works inside and stays behind his blocking. He's not a guy that's going to be real flashy, but gets up the field.
Pickup of 12 yards, 1st down for Penn State. They go back to basics. Pick up the 1st down. Now the inside handoff to the big fullback, Paul Jefferson, straight ahead for a yard, maybe 2. Maybe 3.
Craig, I talked about big plays, but they just need to get a positive play. I think that 1st down for them was very effective. They picked up 6 yards. Then they're in a position, what do we run? Do we go to Michael Robinson? They try that. Then they go to a nice little screen play. So if they set the offense up and allow Zach Mills, we saw them against Minnesota. That 2nd half, they made some plays, and this offense needs some kind of confidence.
Absolutely. And they've got to feel good having some of their horses back in the positions they're more comfortable in on offense. 2nd down and 7. Robinson in motion to the near side. Fake the pitch. Hunt fighting for yards. Maybe gets a yard. Let's check in now with Mike Gleason.
In the end zone. He looked like he was walking.
That's a big hole.
He looked like he was taking his time.
Well, Zach Mills feeling a bit of the pressure now. 3rd down and 6 to try to keep this drive alive. They've had good field position at the 42-yard line of Northwestern. They'll be back in the shotgun. Robinson in motion. Mills tries to dump it to his fullback, and Jefferson can't handle it. Looked like Northwestern was there in pursuit.
They would have been in pursuit, but you got a 260-pound guy. You're hoping you give him the ball right there. He can just turn up the field. The problem with this Penn State offense, untimely drops, bad plays, turnovers, and those are the kind of things that just manifest themselves and just continue to keep happening.
That's what Galen Hull, the offensive coordinator, was telling us yesterday. It's not a pet peeve. Now it's a flat-out disturbance, those drop passes. The receiving core has just not been reliable this season for Penn State. Now Capanos to punt. And this one bounces into the end zone for the touchback. So we will take a break at Beaver Stadium. Northwestern will have the ball, and we come back, and they own a 7-0. Welcome back to Big Ten football. Northwestern and Penn State from Beaver Stadium and State College, along with Charles Arbuckle, Quint Kesnick. I'm Craig Kashan. Northwestern 0-4 at Beaver Stadium, and they have not been in any of those 4 games. They have been flat out blown out, and they're looking for some revenge today.
Craig, have 7 points, but only averaging 2.5 yards on 1st down on 3 plays.
Jordan in the game at running back. Herron remains on the sideline. And let's take a look at how Northwestern got things done on that opening drive.
You give away an interception like this. Normally the Penn State defense is tough, and then they come with a long pass play on short passing throws. Jonathan Fields with a great move getting down the field. Then TD, you just get that surge by that offensive line. Terrell Jordan, the beneficiary of a nice play down the field.
Well, he got 1 on that last carry. 2nd down and 9. Bassinet, pass is complete. This one to Ashton Akins.
This Northwestern offense stresses out a defensive coordinator as well as defenders, because what they do is they try to spread you out. What you want to do is stop them on 1st down, make them maybe pick up 2 or 3, and then put them in 3rd and longer than 5, because they have so many formations. You have to keep it simple and base. Bassinet missed the pass earlier in the drive or early in the game, but every time on 3rd down, they put you in a position where you're uncomfortable, and Randy Walker likes this offense to be effective. Tom Bradley on the other side, the defensive coordinator, knows. He's been up late nights this week.
Says it's the most frustrating offense to go against. And now Northwestern must call a timeout on 3rd and 5. And so Bassinet to the sideline, already missing Fillmore, and now missing Herron, his top receiving threat and his top running back. Time now for the Volvo Big Ten leaders. We're looking at passing leaders in Brett Bassinet, 2nd in the Big Ten to Kyle Orton.
And look who's down. Brett Bassinet is there, and then right up under him, Chad Henne, the freshman out of Michigan. Brett Bassinet, even with the sore shoulder, even with all the other things that have gone on with him this year, they have to have a good running game, because their running game sets up the pass, and they do multiple formations, and they stretch you out, because you just don't know. You want to be in tight, 7 or 8 men in the box. They try to get you into a 6-man in the box theory, and then run the football, run option with 2 backs. Now that may go away because Noah Herring is hurt. They do a lot of little tweaks to their offense to screw you up.
Well, Northwestern coming into this game even up and looking to improve as they try to keep their bowl bid alive. As we look at the Big Ten standings, Michigan technically on top with the 6 victories over Wisconsin, but Wisconsin unbeaten overall. There's Northwestern 3-2 in the conference, 4-4 overall, and Penn State, again, surprisingly, you say, looking for that first Big Ten victory here in November. 0-5 to start it out. Bazinet now after the timeout has this one batted away. And that's exactly what Penn State needs to do.
Well, our guy Scott Paxson, they're not going to get to Bazinet on the rush. They run a lot of 3- and 5-step drops. So the defensive line coach, Larry Johnson, said, we need to get blocks. We're going to rush, but we're going to stop at the last second. You see Scott Paxson, those guys on the defensive line, they don't get a lot of chances to get their name called. So how do they get it? They try to block balls down. Levon Chisley earlier in the season scored a touchdown or had an interception. So they like to make those big plays on the defensive line.
The defense has been outstanding all season long for the Nittany Lions. And now the punt by Peterson. Taken by Lowry. No running room at all there, but Penn State will still have wonderful field position at the 40-yard line when we come back after a 44-yard punt. We're back in a moment. At the university's most identifiable landmark building. Got the bell tower there, to gift from the class of 1904. 1904. What a beautiful campus. And a big old band ready to toot their horn here as Penn State's got the football back, trailing 7-0, and not a whole lot of running room right there against that Northwestern defense.
26 meet 41. That'll be the mantra for a lot today. 21 tackles last week versus Purdue. This guy is outstanding in what he can do at the linebacker position. Tony Hunt's going to have his hands full with Tim McGurgle.
The Walter Camp Division 1A Defensive Player of the Week, 21 tackles last week against Purdue. Leads the nation in solo tackles with just under 8 solo tackles a game. No gain, 2nd down 10. Mills, pass complete to Rubin, and gets about 4, maybe 5 yards.
Mark Rubin had an outstanding game against Minnesota and has come back. Hadn't really had a lot of catches, getting the opportunity to play today, and they really think this guy's going to be special. True freshman out of Amherst, New York. Zach Mills has worked with him, but you got to know Anthony Morelli spends a lot of time with him in practice being freshmen. So it'll be interesting to see as they move forward, those two guys working together.
Could have 2 true freshmen on the field, but right now the senior Zach Mills running the show for Joe Paterno. And Joe telling us yesterday no set plans on when he wants to bring the freshman in, but he just knows he wants to bring him in at some point. 3rd down 6. This time inside handoff, and a 1st down for Hunt as he crosses the 50. That play works for Penn State on the ground.
Nice draw play. This, these are the kind of things that Penn State needs for confidence. Tony Hunt looks like he's a little bit shaken up, but you're going to see if you stop right there, that defense pauses, and that allows Tony Hunt. He's got great blocking there. Where are you going to go? Run at the umpire. Get you the 1st down. Nice little run. That's the kind of thing you have to have. You got to have guys getting in there, fitting, and then you just run behind them.
Tony Hunt, the sophomore at Alexandria, Virginia. Very solid running back. Very good receiver as well. Gets the football again. And this time he's met up front. Luis Castillo buries him at the line of scrimmage. There's Morelli on the sideline. The young freshman got a little bit of work very early. 4'9", 32 yards, but over 5,000 yards as a 4-year high school starter.
I think they're doing it the right way, though, because you got 108,000 people waiting for 14 to come in. They want to see this guy. Zach Mills, you got to give him his due, give him a chance to make plays. He's been here for a long time, set a lot of records. They haven't had the success from his class, so you want to go out with these 3 games with a bang.
I guess the question is, how many series do you give Zach Mills to try to get this team on the board? This time he finds his tight end, Isaac Smolko. And he gets down to the 45-yard line of Northwestern.
That play works against a team that's not as fast as Northwestern because it just took too long to develop. And Smolko is a good tight end. They like throwing to him. That's his 16th catch on the year. But it took way too long. And you saw how many guys in the white jerseys were on that guy. It was an unfair fight. It was like a hornet going into a bee's colony and just getting stung by a bunch of bees and get them out of there.
Bees are going to be out today, too. It's sunny and warming up. 3rd down and 6 for Zach Mills and Penn State out of the shotgun. Back to pass. Tries to find Robinson, and just a little bit too far over his head to bring down with one hand, and it falls incomplete, and the punting unit back on the field. And here come a few boo birds here at Beaver Stadium.
You know, you're trying to pick up these first downs, and you know, Michael Robinson, you want to get the ball in his hands. You know, the thing is, when you have a chance and you move on the other side of the field, you pass the 50-yard line, that's when you have to be more aggressive and focused. Penn State, as we've seen, have struggled. Once they cross the 50, it seems like they just don't get things done.
Jeff Backus back to receive this punt. Stat. Wildcats leading this game 7-0.
Wait for the fair catch. Then he bobbles the ball.
It's no longer fair after that.
The officials try to get in and save him, but it's a little too late. He waves that hand real quick, and just the wind's still blowing a little bit. And then you see the Penn State defenders coming down the field, going to make sure that he has that football.
The last few days, winds have been blowing up near 40 miles an hour, and that's 40-mile-an-hour winds is what Northwestern faced at home in their victory last week against Purdue. Jordan carries the football. Derek Wake brings him down for Penn State after about a 2-yard gain up to the 12-yard line. So let's see what this Penn State defense can do now to try to keep Northwestern pinned down deep in their own territory.
Derek Wake, the one senior now on the team. Goodman is out. Andrew Goodman was the other senior who's hurt this week. So Derek Wake, one of the few positive senior captain classmen. He has just been outstanding in how he's played the game of football here.
2nd down and 8. Bazinet tosses, and this one bobbled and dropped. Incomplete, out of bounds. Let's go down to the sideline and check in with Quint Kesnick.
Craig, this week when we spoke to Penn State defensive coordinator Tom Bradley about his defense, he said there's no LeVar Arringtons or Courtney Browns on this unit. These guys are blue collar, they're high energy, they rely on each other, and they've built trust in one another. He looks for 3 things. Did we win? How many points did we give up? And how many turnovers did we create?
Keep it simple. That's what he said. Keep it simple. Kicks. That's the mentality he has with these guys, and that's why they are playing so well.
3rd down and long for Bazinet and the Wildcats. Straight back, looking over the middle. Pass complete. Fields has it. 1st down. And another big 3rd down completion for Northwestern.
Well, Jonathan Fields was quietly putting up a nice little game. He had 8 receptions for 202 yards, 3 touchdowns versus TCU. He just drags across the field, and they lose him. The linebackers are going to try to get to him, and you see Derek Wake and Dan Connor trying to come over and cover a receiver. When you have 4 wides and you play with the nickel package with 3 linebackers, that puts you in a disadvantage. If that guy's running across the field, it's hard to defend him.
Gain of 13 and the all-important 1st down on 3rd and long. Northwestern now near their 25-yard line. Big rush coming in and going down. Tambahali with the sack for Penn State, a rare sack.
Did you see how fast he got to him? Not only getting off the football, but reading and recognition. It is very rare that they get sacks here. They get a lot of tackles for losses or hurries. But Tambahali, as soon as the ball is snapped, you can see Brett Bazinet looking at him. He works inside, beats Trey Essex, and just gets to him so quick. Bazinet doesn't have a chance to set up.
Ali's first sack of the season, and they were able to apply pressure on a rare occasion as well. Jordan gets the inside handoff, gets back to the 20-yard line. The sack was a loss of 8 yards. So they still face now 3rd down and long.
Talk about this Penn State defense, and they take ownership in what they want to do. That's why these guys haven't pointed the finger at the offense. Whenever you have teams that struggle offensively, it's easy for the defense to blame the other guys or do this or that. But this defense has just been so solid because they play with such intensity. They're not a group of guys that are superstars, but they believe every time they can make a play on the field, they have to be the ones to do it.
3rd down and 12 for the Wildcats. Can they do it again? On 3rd down, they do. Pass complete over the middle at the 40-yard line. Herbert has it, and he was knocked down hard by Kelvin Lowry.
Calvin Lowry comes over the top and just makes a nice crushing blow. Donnie Johnson covering underneath. But Herbert just working down the field. They come with the blitz. It's not picked up. It's man coverage. And you can see what a great shot by Cronin.
That's the first warning on Penn State. First warning, resolve the play, will be a first down.
Okay, so a warning on Penn State's bench to get away from the sideline. Here's a look at the big 23-yard pickup.
Paul Cronin covering underneath, and then Lowry just coming over the top with a nice shot. Now, if you could get Cronin just underneath a little bit, knock that ball down, but nice pickup by the Northwestern offense.
2 big-time 3rd and longs for Northwestern to keep this drive alive. This time Fields, and this one incomplete. Well, I tell you what, Phillips is coming in. There's been some serious hitting going on in this first quarter.
Does number 1 like to hit?
Boy,
I think so. Anwar Phillips. Say it again. He is bringing it today. Now on the goal line earlier, he came with a nice hit. And now this time, ooh, one-on-one. I think the one in blue jersey won that battle.
Now the question is, I know these guys are groggy. Is Phillips still groggy? He's going to go down, lower his head again anyway.
It doesn't look like it. That's the thing. You have to be a defensive back, especially corner. He has to have a lot of confidence in his game. And I think number 1, Anwar Phillips, believes in himself.
And Herron back in the ball game for Northwestern. A positive sign for the Wildcats. Catches the pass, immediately hit, and brought down by a host of Penn State defenders, Lowry and Connor. But Herron knocked out of the ball game on the opening drive, and now back for the first time.
Normally, coaches want to test you right away. You got your ace guy in the game. Give him a chance to catch the ball, run down the field, see if he's fine. He checks out all right. The offensive lineman probably going to get pumped up.
Here's a look at that hit that he suffered by Phillips near the goal line. And they both got up slow. Herron the slowest. Massanet the pitch back. And that Penn State defense holds true short of the first down. Lowry there on the first hit for the Nittany Lions.
This is a great play by the defense, because this is one of those wrinkles that last week the offensive coordinator Mike Dunbar said we're putting more into. We're going to run the option. What you have to have is all these guys working out. You see 31 plus Lusney working on the quarterback. They have 2 people for him. And then Anwar Phillips holding down. And then who comes up? Calvin Lowry. That was a nice defensive play on the option, because it's so hard to account for people. Everybody stayed in their responsibility, and they stopped them short of the first down.
Lowry gets to stay in to field this punt by Ryan Peterson. Should be returnable. He's got it at the 20-yard line, and good special teams tackle as he's brought down after a 5-yard gain. Be sure to join us on another Big Ten victory for Indiana as they try to get things back in the positive direction. Perfect day for football. Got the hot chocolate and a sweatshirt. That's all you need. Penn State College. Temperatures in the low 50s. Hunt the carry. Odell back now at quarterback, the senior for Michigan State. It looked early on when he was replaced by a couple of the young freshmen that he may not play again, but now he's trying to finish up Michigan State season strong.
Good thing for them they have those guys that can come off the bench, especially when you lose Stanton. And now you can go to Dowdell, who has a lot of experience.
2nd down and 9 for the Nittany Lions. Mills getting chased out of the pocket, looking for a receiver, and Robinson drops the football.
Now that's one of those situations where Robinson, if he gets more time at receiver, he will make that catch. One of the things, they use him so many different ways, and he talks about being a Band-Aid sometimes, but now he's got an opportunity that should be able to finish out the season at wide receiver and really get an opportunity to make those plays.
Another one of those frustrating situations, though, is you see the head coach. All you can do is shake your head. They can't go out there and make the plays and catch the football.
But you know what? Kobe Clark had so much pressure on Zach Mills, it didn't allow him to set up, so the ball was a little bit low anyway, but a catchable ball by Robinson.
3rd down and 9. Mills back. Over the middle. Finds Matt Hahn, true freshman fullback, well short of the first down, and the Fans getting restless again.
Well, Craig, I know this is a very good Northwestern defense, but what they've done is every time they've thrown short when they need more yards.
And that brings us an end now to the first quarter. The Penn State band has opened things up here. The flavor is all Penn State. And of course, it's always a family affair here as well. We're coming back to start the second quarter in just a moment. Is ready to play some Big Ten football already? Well, you never know. Northwestern leads Penn State as we welcome you back to the start of the second quarter. The Nittany Lions have trailed since the opening quarter here. They had the turnover. Northwestern came back and scored, and now the Nittany Lions forced to punt. Jeff Backus back to receive this Capanos punt. He's got it at the 31, a little bit of room to run, maintains his balance, still on his feet, and finally brought down at the 42-yard line.
To beat Miami, and now they're coming back against Virginia Tech, another powerhouse in the ACC. It's interesting to see how teams peak at the right time.
Bazinet on first down at 10, rolling to his right. And throws this one into the ground, incomplete. Didn't have anybody open. Let's take a look now at the BCS standings, brought to you by Allstate, a proud sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. USC and Oklahoma 1 and 2, and then Auburn, California, Wisconsin, Utah 4, 5, and 6, and it's been a little middle shuffle in there in 4, 5, and 6.
Utah, I mean, you just talk about a team getting a chance to go up and make some play or be in the hunt. And Wisconsin, a Big Ten team, so you got to look at it and say, how is this going to shake out as the season goes along?
It's been an interesting start in the first few weeks of the BCS standings. On second down, Bazinet, no room to run there. He will occasionally run with the football, but Scott Paxson says not this time.
Well, you know, if you're going to run the option, you better run it against a team that's not very sound fundamentally. Penn State showed you earlier they could defend it. And then you get a defensive tackle working outside. Normally you see the defensive end working on it, but that was a very good job by Scott Paxson of stopping it right at its track.
Third down at 12, a loss of 2 thanks to Paxson and company. So Bazinet facing another third down and long. Hasn't been a big problem to convert, though, for Northwestern. They've done it 2 or 3 times already in the first half. Bazinet. The screen, Herron. Nowhere to go. Tamba Hali brings him down. And that Penn State defense, really the only mistake they made was not being able to keep Northwestern off the board after the turnover.
And that's something that they've done a very good job of. 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals coming into today's game. And I think they took that as an affront. They got upset. We gave up a touchdown. What are we doing? We got to play much better. And you have seen these guys fly around the football. That's ownership. They believe in this defense. And you can see Larry Johnson talking to Tom Bahali. Those are the kind of things. He said he's a special player.
Peterson to punt. Good rush by Penn State. Lowry lets this one bounce. And it'll be down at the 5-yard line. So Lowry, after a 52-yard punt, Penn State will take over deep in their own territory. Cold blue next at Penn State. We'll explain that one when we come back. Northwestern leads Penn State 7-0. The Nittany Lions have the ball now at their own 5-yard line. And would like nothing more than have something to strike up here in a moment. We'll see what the Nittany Lions can do on offense. Officially marked at the 6. Hunt gets the handoff, spins, a little bit of running room, stretches up to the 12-yard line. The team might be struggling. The fans are not. We followed around some Code Blue recruiters this morning on campus.
I'm Jordan, and this is Mark, and we're here at Penn State Northwestern, and we're going to do a Code Blue. We're going to get 25,000 students to wear blue. Let's go, Justin, come on. Yeah, let's go, blue. Code Blue, wear your blue. Let's go, come on. Let's play, let's go, blue. Let's go to the game. Let's go to the game, guys. Woo! Yeah. Let's go State. Go Blue. Go Blue.
Very nice. 25,000 students here. Did they follow the blue? Looks pretty blue here as Penn State tries to get up near first down territory. There they are. 10:10 in the morning. That guy was studying. I thought maybe he'd be sleeping. Saturday.
Yeah.
Sleeping in for the big ball game. No, they're hitting the books here. I'll tell you what, these fans want something to cheer about, but week in and week out, they have turned out in support.
They really have, and not only that, the alumni, when you're out last night, going to dinner, you can just see all the people that are around. They picked up a first down, and Craig, the reason why, before that first down play, they were averaging 1.7 yards on 10 plays, or 6 plays. That time they picked up about 5 yards. It gave them a nice positive gain and the ability to get a first down.
Hunt again, the carry. Up to the 20-yard line. A couple minutes into the second quarter. We're in State College, Pennsylvania for Big Ten football. It's Northwestern and Penn State, and the Wildcats in the Battle of the Cats lead the Nittany Lions on the board, but only by a touchdown. A beautiful day for football here in State College. 5 consecutive losses, however, by Penn State. That's happened twice in Joe Paterno's era. Longtime coach here. Last year 6 games, this year 5. So it's happened over the last 2 seasons. That's what they're trying to erase today and get their first Big Ten win. Robinson catches the football this time, makes a nice spin move and picks up some good yards after the catch for the first down.
Took a little while, but once you get the ball to him, now you start on inside your 4. Normally it's a tough way to go all the way back down. They pick up 1 first down with Tony Hunt. Now they come to Michael Robinson, and this is a great play by him. Take the shot, do the spin move. Good job by him of staying alive and then picking up the first down. Zach Mills holding on to that football, that lefty throwing that ball out there to Michael Robinson. Good job by the Penn State offense of moving the ball down the field.
So a gain of 11. He threw the interception on the game's first play. This time he makes a big gain around the reception. This one falls incomplete.
Pass is incomplete. Intended.
And he was looking out there for Mark Rubin, the true freshman.
Good hands. They talk about how well this guy's hands are. And this defense, though, for Northwestern, we haven't talked a whole lot about him, but Tim McGargle, you're going to see him a lot, hear about him a lot, and now I think with this defense, the challenge is stopping this Penn State offense from getting any confidence. It's easy for a team to be down, but if they ever get any whiff of confidence, that's a bad thing for this Northwestern defense.
Pressure on Mills, gets the pass off to Hunt, plenty of running room, picks a hole, still on his feet, and finally brought down at the 36-yard line. Marvin Ward, the stop for Northwestern, pick up of 32 yards. Biggest play of the day for the Nittany Lion offense. That's the threat he provides besides running the football.
They have set the screen up nice. You see big linemen out in front of him blocking. Easy Smith, one of them, running down the field, picking up blocks way down the field. Tony Hunt, good job of him. Levi Brown, Charles Rush, all those guys on that left side worked out. That's a very good play for this Penn State offense. It's shown effective 32-yard pickup.
First down and 10. Remember, this drive started back at their own 6-yard line, and here they come. This time the handoff to Austin Scott, who did not practice all week, was held back from contact, had a head injury, but was cleared to play yesterday, and was in on special teams and carries the ball for the first time now.
Craig, it's so hard to score a touchdown, but even a field goal when you start a 96-yard drive, you're less than 10, maybe even 5% of a chance or probability of you scoring. So talk about confidence. If they can keep it going and get something positive out of it, this Penn State offense should feel a lot more confident in the second quarter.
Second down and 7 for the Nittany Lions. Hunt remains the lone man in the backfield, gets the handoff, looking for a hole, and crawls down to the 31-yard line. So Zach Mills, we'd wondered if we would see Morelli or not come in, but they drive started back at their own 6-yard line. You don't want to put a freshman in that situation.
No, that's not a chance. You don't want to have him start off his really chance in this game. He's played some in cleanup time, but that's not a good situation for a freshman quarterback.
And Mills has guided Penn State now to within striking distance. Big third down at 5. He's in trouble, and he's brought down back at the 35-yard line. Northwestern's defense tightens up, and he is sacked.
Well, and Nick Roach does a good job of beating Paul Jefferson on that block, and then when Zach Mills tries to step up, Nick Roach is right there. Problem with that sack is it puts him so far back, takes him almost out of field goal range.
A loss of 3, so it's 4th down and 9. And it looks like Kapanos, the punter, is coming out on the field for Penn State. It would be about a 52 or 53-yard field goal attempt. But they elect to punt now. Sean Herbert standing at his 10. Let's see what the Nittany Lions do. And a flag comes in.
Offense. 5-yard penalty remains 4th down.
Probably not a bad, and call that an intentional penalty. Get yourself an extra 5-yard cushion to punt.
He really wants to try to get it inside the 20, inside the 10, really, from here, so that 5 extra yards can help him.
But it only works if Northwestern accepts and they decline. So they'll keep him. You got to try it, though.
Yeah. Those coaches, they've been around a long time. They know what the other one is doing.
So a drive that started at the 6, stalls at the 35. Kapanos. Nicely done. He did not need that extra 5. Ball down at the 4-yard line. He does his job, a 30-yard punt, no return, but he pins Northwestern back at their own 4. We'll be back in a moment. Library that opened up in the summer of 1999. Head coach giving a lot to the university. Only $4 million back in donations. 39 years the head coach. Now it's up to his defense. They like the spot they're in right now, keeping Northwestern back at the 4. And Paxson jumps, and he says somebody on that line moved for Northwestern. And we'll wait for Dennis Lipsky and the crew.
Prior to the snap, offside, number 31, defense, made contact. That's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
You can't give him a gift like that. You get him started on the 5 or the 4-yard line. You got to keep it there. Now you give him an opportunity to give him 5 free yards and a shorter distance to go for a 1st down.
That's when your motor's charging a little too strong. 1st down at 5. So as much as Penn State liked it, now Northwestern will take it. Herron up the gut, plenty of running room. He's a horse to bring down. Phillips trying, needs some help. Finally gets it as he is down out near the 40-yard line. And a run of 30 yards for Herron.
I just had this thing rolling. It felt like Noah Herring had Anwar Phillips. Nice blocking inside. You see those guys, big hole there, not touched until he gets down the field. And then Anwar Phillips holding on for dear life. Bronco Bucko, can I hold on for 8 seconds? I better get him down. But he gets to the hole and he gets there quick. This is why Noah Herring has a real good opportunity to be a pro player, because of his speed and his size.
The first rushing 1st down for the Wildcats. All indications look like after that run like he's okay. And a flag down on the field.
And then the toughness factor. You know, the guy got a real good shot early on, and now getting a chance to come back. Got some guys scuffling a little bit in there.
That's the other thing about that big run, though.
Personal foul, number 64, offense. Personal foul, number 91, defense. Those will offset. Result of the play, 2nd down.
So Ulrich and Hali going at it.
2 guys that, you know, there's a lot of things that go on in those trenches, and play after play after play. You got the guard going against this end. Sometimes things get heated.
So the offsetting penalties keeps it at 2nd down. Bazine moving out of the pocket. Pass is complete. Finds Fields short of the 1st down. Let's check in with Mike Leeson. All right, Mike here, 3rd down and 10. Wildcats lead Penn State 7-0. Wildcats taking advantage early of a Penn State turnover, trying to do it on their own now in a drive that started back at their own 4-yard line. Bazinet rolling to his right, looking downfield, pass is complete, and he finds his man Akins for the first down, so the Wildcats continue to roll on big plays.
I always like these routes where you got the waggle where the quarterback's trying to work outside and the receiver kind of working up the field, and he just finds a little dead spot in there. Bazinet is getting chased, has pressure coming to him from Ed Johnson, who's getting a chance to start today, but Bazinet with a nice throw on the run. And you see the receiver, he works outside, and then he comes and just sets in that little hole, and Bazinet just finds a nice throw and catch.
Bazinet-Akins connection good for 11 and another first down. Into Penn State territory. They give the ball to the big guy, Herron. Gets a couple up to the 40-yard line. This week's passing combinations are brought to you by Cargill. We collaborate, create, and succeed with our customers. As you take a look at the Northwestern longest pass plays so far this season, it was Bazinet to Fields for 69 and Fields again for 63. He's been the go-to guy, and Fillmore, who's injured, good for 52 as well. And we had a flag down on the field.
Dead ball, personal foul on the offense, number 15. That's a 15-yard penalty, and the down count, second out.
Well, I think he may have meant 50, and we can only guess it might be Trevor Reese because there's no 15 out on the field right now for Northwestern. The center, Trevor Reese.
Jeremy Vester, the backup quarterback, saying, hey, I'm on the sideline. What are you talking about?
The penalty puts Northwestern back down to 2nd and 23. So a couple of personal fouls, and Bazinet throws this one into the ground, incomplete.
Craig, he had to because Levon Chisley worked outside. They saw the screen being set up. Chisley to the left end or the right end on that play worked outside. They're going to call intentional grounding.
Here's the call by Dennis Lipsky.
Intentional grounding, number 14. The pass never crossed the line of scrimmage. That's a spot foul, a loss of down, third down.
That was a big play. You know, this Northwestern offense had gotten going, but then you're going to have 17 work outside. You're going to see him show up late in your screen. So Bazinet knows he can't throw it. Right there, Levon Chisley was right in the area. Like I said earlier, he had an interception early in the year, has knocked down a lot of passes. At 6'5", you don't want to throw to that big guy because he'll be running the other way.
Third down and 35 after the penalty. Bazinet downfield. This one nearly picked off. It was up for grabs. Donnie Johnson could not come up with it for Penn State. And Donnie Johnson in on the nickel package for the Nittany Lions.
And that's the one thing that Penn State's defense hadn't done a very good job either in getting interceptions. They had 9 on the year, which is pretty good, but they've had a lot more balls in their hands. And Donnie Johnson, I guess the receivers will go over to him and say, Donnie, that's why you play DB and we play receiver.
There you go. Well, Northwestern was driving, and then the penalties getting away. And Randy Walker was talking about this to us this week, that you shoot yourself in the foot so many times in so many games. And this could be another case brewing here with personal foul penalties. Lowry finding a little bit of running room, crosses the 40, and it's going to be good field position for Penn State. And we are going to take a break in a minute, but when we come back, we're going to pump you up in the weight room. We'll explain that in just a moment. Back in Happy Valley, looks pretty happy right now, although Penn State trails on the scoreboard 7-0, 5:37 to go in the first half. And Zach Mills remains at quarterback right now for Penn State as his team. Pretty good start field position at the 42-yard line. Drilling in this game by a touchdown. Keeps it. This time chased out of the pocket. Finds his big tight end, Smolko. Pass complete. Let's check in with Mike Gleason.
Well, Craig, coming up at halftime, we'll focus on the Buckeyes and Spartans in East Lansing. Can Damon Dowdell fill the void there? And we'll see if North Carolina can carry any big mo from last week's huge victory over Miami as they take on Virginia Tech.
Mike, the big game today up in Wisconsin. Wisconsin hosts Minnesota. I'll show you how the Badgers front four will dominate the game and lead them to a victory.
All right, it's all coming up at halftime, Craig.
All right, thanks, Coach and Mike. We'll look forward to that coming up in just a bit. 2nd down and 3 for the Nittany Lions as they try to match the touchdown Northwestern put on the board very early in the first quarter. Hunt gets the call. Not a lot of running room as he tries to get up to midfield. And how about the situation where we still say if and when we're going to see the freshman quarterback?
And this is a situation where you have a long-standing coach, 55 years, loyalty to this program. So sometimes it's hard to change things. Zach Mills has been a guy that they've gone to battle with a lot of games. When do you make that decision? When do you give him an opportunity? When do you give Anthony Morelli his chance? Because clearly he is going to be your future.
Mills, the career Penn State passing leader, 17 school records. And you'd like to see him finish strong if you're Joe Paterno. That's part of the deal. This ball may have been fumbled, but marked out of bounds.
Fortunately for Tony Hunt, it was out of bounds. And, you know, that's a situation. 3rd and 3, you run the option to the short side of the field. And this team has showed you they can play the option. Northwestern, that is. I don't like that call. That's a chance there. If you are a team that's trying to get to that next level and show you can win 3 games and then do very well next year, open up the playbook. You opened it up the first game and then you kind of gotten conservative. Keep attacking this Northwestern defense.
Sean Herbert back to receive the Capanos punt. Back has got shaken up earlier for Northwestern. So it's been Herbert. And calls for a fair catch at the 12-yard line, and that's where the Wildcats will take over. There's Matt Ulrich. He's due back on the field for Northwestern. We'll have his story in a moment. Look at the Northwestern sidelines. Wildcats lead Penn State 7-0. 4:38 to go here in the first half. Wildcats have the football at their own 13-yard line. 1st down and 10. Herron gets the call, still on his feet, breaks a tackle or two, and is finally down at the 20-yard line. Let's check in with Quinn on the sideline.
Craig, Northwestern guard Matt Ulrich. This guy is an absolute weight room monster. Puts up some incredible numbers. He's 6'2", 310. Keep in mind that he has the school record for the incline. He can incline 425 pounds. He squats 520 pounds 10 times. He can bench press over 500 pounds. Works out with about 380 on the bench press. Their offensive coordinator, Mike Dunbar, says his energy is contagious in the weight room, and it carries over on the field.
All right, Quint, the carry again as Ulrich leads the way in blocking for a 1st down for Northwestern. Connor, the tackle. There's Ulrich, and, you know, he's student taught at a local Chicago school, and the first week the kids thought he was one of the security guards. He said, no, I'm kind of more the kindergarten cop. I'm here to help you kids.
Yeah, and they probably thought, man, this guy's coming in and going to lay the hammer on me. I better not even ask for an extra pencil or do anything. He's just one of those guys. His nickname is what?
Chesty. He's a big, thick kid. Bazinet rolling out. Intercepted. Penn State's got the football. Paul Cronin comes up with the play, still on his feet, and finally brought down at the 21-yard line of Northwestern. There's the turnover Tom Bradley's looking for.
And that was a good play by the Penn State defense. Bad throw by Bazinet. You have too many guys right over there. You're trying to throw and make something happen, throw the ball away, and don't give it to Penn State in this area where they've struggled. But Paul Cronin stepping in today, the nickelback, good job of just sliding over. Bazinet does do this sometimes. He will make some bad decisions and make bad throws. You got to take advantage of it. He's going to work in this rollout situation, and there's going to be too many Penn State defenders there. Everybody's covered. He doesn't see Cronin because he's close to the sideline and just works back in. Good job by Cronin to kind of bait him into that throw.
Cronin, the junior from Uniontown, Ohio, with his first interception of the season. That sets up the offense very nicely. Zach Mills straight back. Dumps it off to Hunt. Still on his feet. Spins down to the 19-yard line. Short gainer, a lot of work. But Penn State looking for that tying score in a game that we expected to be a low-scoring affair and has been. It's time now for the Red Roof Inn Red Zone Proficiency. Save at Red Roof Inns with Red's hot deals and special discounts you can only get online at redroof.com. See Penn State's chances 14 out of 24. Not great, only 11 touchdowns. If there's any time to capitalize, this is it. Hunt the carry, straight ahead, good run. Shy of the first down, but very close. McGargle there on the stop. And there is Cronin setting up his Penn State offense now. And it all starts with the defense. You go with what your strength is, and they finally came up with the turnover.
That last play right there, up in the middle, is almost a counter. Tyler Reed, Easy Smith, and Charles Rush. Good push behind them. That's why it's 3rd and short.
Hunt, first down. Inside the 10, fumbles the ball. And looks like the Wildcats have it unless they marked him down. And it looks like they may have marked him down.
The officials are discussing it. I thought he was clearly down, but there was never any signal that he was already down on that, and that's what these guys are talking about now.
Dennis Lipsky says it's Northwestern football. And I'm sure they'll take a look at this upstairs, whether they stop play or not, get another look at a replay. Our technical advisor here for the Big Ten today is Jim Augustine. 2:02 to go, and a golden scoring opportunity for Penn State may go the other way. And they are reviewing the play as we take a look. Is his knee down? It looks like he's clearly down to me.
Yeah, it looks like his knee is down, and then he's getting the ball pulled away from him as he's going down, or his knee is already down.
I think he still has it.
Has it there, and then it comes out after the fact. Good heads-up play by Brian Hines of trying to just pull it out, not giving up on the play.
There's a look at the technical advisor, Jim Augustine.
Good look by our camera crew. Real good shot there of that particular play, and that's what they go off of.
It has to be indisputable evidence, of course, to overturn the call of the original call is fumble and Northwestern football, and it looked to me clearly like his knee was down. But we don't make the final decision.
No, and the officials were late getting there, and it clearly was one of those situations where any officials not even on the screen.
See, I don't think it's coming out when his knee hits. I still think he's got the football.
Got possession there, and then it comes out after the fact. Both offenses on the field right now.
Well, that would be a battle. Take a look at where Big Ten replay has gone this season. 42 instant replay games, 33 stoppages for the replay, and 15 calls overturned. Will it be 16 here?
After further review, there is indisputable video evidence that showed the runner's knee was down. It was back to Penn State. First down, 8-yard line.
The loudest cheer of the afternoon at Beaver Stadium.
If it had gone the other way, I don't know if 108,000 people can let you know how upset they are. But this was a very good look at it, and this is what they were able to see in the replay booth. Clearly the knee down, and you can see he has control, getting his body twisted. Brian Hines not giving up on the play. Good hustle play by him.
Code Blue says, give me a first down and goal, and that's what the Nittany Lions have now at the 8-yard line. Lines up on the eye, takes the football, and a whole lot of running room right there. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. McGargle there to meet him, as Dominic Price as well. 1:40 and counting in the first half. Northwestern and Penn State from State College. This is Big Ten football, and we've got a good one brewing. A low-scoring affair between these two schools. Penn State on the move, trying to tie the score. Northwestern took advantage of a turnover in the opening moments of the first quarter and went downfield and scored, and that's been the only offense we've seen on the scoreboard. But Penn State clearly threatening. Second down and goal. Mills straight back, looks, throws, pass complete, and then out of bounds. Looking for his tight end, Patrick Hall, makes his first reception of the season and gets knocked out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Good little changeup because you haven't thrown the ball much to Patrick Hall. He's going to sneak out and catch the ball there, but good closing on him right there. As soon as he catches the football, he's hit, not allowed to get any extra yards.
Under a minute as the clock continues to roll. Third down and goal for the Nittany Lions. Hunt in the backfield, Jefferson ahead. Mills keeps it, the rush. Pass. Touchdown, Penn State to his tight end, Isaac Smolko.
Zach Mills made that play, Craig, because he knew he was going to take a shot, but held on to the football as long as he could and let everything develop, and Smolko wide open in the back of the end zone.
37 seconds to go in the first half, and Penn State an extra point away from tying things up. Well, if you like defense, there's been plenty of it. If you like offense, you've seen it at the very beginning and very end of the first half. And the extra point by Robbie Gould is there. And we are tied 7-all. I like what Zach Mills did. You could tell he was calm and cool under the pressure. You're right. He knew he was going to get hit, but he waited for his receiver to get open.
He just said, I know I'm going to take a shot and find Isaac Smolko in the back of the end zone. And Zach Mills, how long have we waited for a touchdown? It's been a while.
6 plays, 22 yards. That all happened because the defense got things started. Paul Cronin, the interception at the 22-yard line of Northwestern. And Tom Bradley told us yesterday about the times where his defense has been sent back out on the field after turnover after turnover after turnover. And he said, don't look at it as a crisis, look at it as an opportunity. That's what the offense did right here.
They really did. And sudden change offense is so good for you when you get the ball inside your, the opposing team 30-yard line, and then you have such a short field to work with. You get some good plays right away. Penn State was able to capitalize on that nice turnover, and it was a good opportunity for them at the time too, because they can run out the clock here and not allow Northwestern to go anywhere.
Jordan's got the football for Northwestern on the return. Flag comes in, but let's check in. Flag comes in on the return with only 31 seconds to go. And Northwestern trying to get back into a decent position to do something in the final 31 seconds of the first half. A 7-7 game. And we have a battle on our hands. There's no question about that.
Personal foul, face mask on the kicking team. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First stop.
Well, that helps out, that's for sure. Tack on the extra yardage after the return. Coming up at halftime in the ESPN Plus Game Day studio presented by Phillips 66. We'll look at the Damon Dowdell leading the Spartans. And the Heels are seeking their second upset as well. And John Cooper talks Wisconsin defense. Ball marked at the 43 for Bazinet. Over the middle, finds his receiver Herbert. And all of a sudden, Northwestern at the 40-yard line make it the 39 of Penn State after the 18-yard pickup.
That was a nice play right there. In college football, remember, you also have the clock to stop every time you pick up a first down.
So Northwestern with one timeout remaining here in the first half. Let's take a look at our Outback Steakhouse Outstanding Back of the Week. And you got to go back to the Purdue Northwestern game a week ago. Noah Herron, the game-winning touchdown with 38 seconds left to beat Purdue 13-10. 19 carries, 82 yards, and a lot of celebrating. As we take a look at the Big Ten rushing leaders, Herron third, just behind Hart and Maroney.
And Hart just getting off his prom. Now he's coming out putting up big numbers for Michigan. You talk about two freshmen playing well together, Hart and Henney. H&H crew up there in Michigan.
H&H really hitting it hard, if you will.
Yeah.
For the youngster, there's Herron today, 9 rushes, 62 yards, a 6-yard average. But boy, he got smacked, and it looked like, well, he did miss some significant playing time, but was able to come back after getting nearly knocked out, it looked like, on the sideline.
Talk about toughness. That's one of the things they want to observe him. Normally, when you're in that situation, you just want to make sure you have your faculties. Gave him his helmet back, and he's back out there rolling.
And you said his key to running, 125. He's more than halfway there. First down and 10 after the Northwestern timeout. Bazinet to Fields, and he couldn't hang on to it. He wanted to run. Need that football first.
His mind was racing at 78 RPMs. He had to slow it down to 33. Just catch the ball, turn up the field. And that's one of those situations where you know you want to have that one back.
2 drops on the receiving core for Bazinet's targets.
The only good thing out of it, it stops the clock, and it allows them to reset and really get focused. Now Penn State has to do the job here and hold them back because they scored a touchdown, getting the momentum. They don't want to lose it here.
On second down, Bazinet straight back. Unloads, quick pass. And out of bounds as he finds his receiver, Akins. And Akins takes a spill as he loses his footing there on the sideline. Now, once you lose the grass, you got the cleats on, it becomes like ice skates.
And that was, and you're right, well, you just slide all the way over. That was a nice play by Northwestern because they let the Penn State defense get back, and then Fields just comes right under, Akins, excuse me, comes right underneath.
14-yard pickup and 14 seconds to go. In the first half, Northwestern used to this. So many tight games that they played in this year. They were just running the 32nd offense to end the first half. Already down to the 25. Bazinet looks, quick pass, caught inside the 15-yard line. And this one goes to Kim Thompson, the freshman receiver out of Inkster, Michigan, who started in the place of Mark Fillmore, the junior leading receiver who's now injured for the rest of the year. 8 seconds to go. Northwestern calls their final timeout. Now, do you kick here or do you take one more chance?
They're going to go for one more shot. 8 seconds, enough time.
Time now for a look at an Army of One. Brought to you by the United States Army. A 94 Penn State Nittany Lion club that won unbeaten. 12-0 overall, 8-0 in the Big Ten. Defeated Oregon in the Rose Bowl, 38-20. Coach Paterno's 5th unbeaten season. A very good start to the Big Ten for Penn State when they entered league play. And times have changed, though, since that 94 squad.
They have. You look here, though, Northwestern is going to go for the field goal. There's a couple of things that work with them. They got first down. If there's any bobble snap, they can get the ball and still call it. They have a chance to stop the clock, or not stop the clock, but just want to make sure they get a chance here.
Brian Huffman in for the 31-yard attempt. 7 of 16 field goals this season. And this one blocked by Paxson. Phillips has the football, trying to do something with it to end the first half. And he's knocked out of bounds. Whether it's the defense that remains on the field or special teams, they come through again.
6 block kicks so far this year. That's the 7th one. Great job by the Penn State defense.
So we have a 7-7 game at halftime. Let's go to the ESPN Plus College Game Day studio. Beaver Stadium, Penn State and Northwestern tied 7-7, and we are ready for the third quarter of our Big Ten clash between these two schools. It's been a good one so far, And we're going to have a fantastic finish here, I'm sure, the way things have gone. And Northwestern on the short kick. Penn State's got it, and they will start near their 20-yard line. And this is how this game has gone in this one. We talked about that strong Penn State defense from the start. Northwestern has made some plays. Who's had some good key plays keyed by the defense, Charles.
They really have, and that's what they've had to have today. And I think the real key is Northwestern coming out, getting going early. Dominique Price with a nice interception. And then Terrell Jordan scoring behind that big offensive line. Then you got to look also, too, at Tony Hunt. Did he fumble or did he not? They reversed the call, called it on the field of fumble, and then who scores? Isaac Smolko. Nice play by Zach Mills of being patient, finding his receiver.
And now Penn State takes over, first down and 10. Mills, the screen out to Hunt. And tries to fight for a couple of extra yards, gets up to the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at the Bank One first half stats. And here's how it breaks down. Northwestern was able to move the ball pretty well, but still came up with only the one score.
The Penn State defense tightened up. They gave up that one touchdown off of turnovers. But you can see both teams have had turnovers, and there have been scores right after that.
So if you want to score in this game, you better get a defensive turnover, because the two turnovers were capitalized by the touchdowns, and that's been it. However, Northwestern had a field goal block to end the first half by Penn State. So they had a chance to go out the window to try to take the lead before the break, but instead we start the second half 7-7.
No, we didn't get to talk about that, Craig, but this defense, not only do they play well in the regular game, defensive game, but they do a good job, Penn State that is, of getting after blocking field goals and things like that. Now, this Northwestern defense, they don't get a lot of credit. They give up more yards, but they are a very solid defensive football team.
The thing about this Northwestern defense, it's getting healthier. Howard's back, Pickens is back, Roach is back. They got to like where they're going here in the home stretch in the final 4 games.
Walk out, John.
Mills rolling, pass short, incomplete, fourth down, trying to find his tight end Smolko, but that pass was short and in the ground.
That's good coverage by McGargle, running with the tight end. Not only does he like to make tackles, had 10 in the first half, but good job of covering the tight end on that play and not allowing Zach Mills to make a nice clean throw to Smolko.
Herbert deep for the Wildcats, gentlemen.
And Herbert now deep for the Wildcats. Papanos, high floater. Herbert fumbles the football. It's loose. It looks like the Nittany Lions have it at the 35-yard line of Northwestern. Gio Vendimia comes up with the football for Penn State. A 37-yard punt, but Herbert, who's not normally back to receive those punts, misjudges the football and fumbles it away.
And you see he wanted to be aggressive. Jeff Backus, who's out, Jonathan Fields, the receiver. And Herbert doesn't return a lot of punts, and you can see coming up, doesn't look the ball all the way in, and just takes his eye off it at the last second. The ball goes right through his hands, and that's where you have to be cognizant of what's going on.
So now can the Nittany Lions take advantage? Offense back out on the field. And Mills now has to call timeout. A little confusion after the turnover to get that offense back out on the field.
13-16.
And we will take a timeout as well and come back in a moment. Joe Paterno on the sideline. His team had to call timeout. They got the ball back. Elon Hall, the offensive coordinator, is upstairs, had been downstairs most of the season until last week as they try to re-coordinate their play calling and get a better read. Hunt helps but loses the football. Was he down? Northwestern has ruled to recover the fumble. Hunt, after a good 9, maybe 10-yard pickup, all of a sudden that ball squirted out of there. It fumbled earlier in this game, but it was ruled down, so Penn State got the football back. We'll take another look in a moment. Doesn't seem to be any confusion on the sideline. Whose ball is it here? Let's take a look.
Dominique Price making the tackle again. And once again, I think they're going to look at this, take a look at it, because Tony Hunt running with the football.
I'll tell you what, that is going to be real close. Because right there, it looked like he may have had the knee down, and then the ball popped out. I mean, instantaneously.
But you know, if he keeps doing that, teams are going to keep going after it. And you see the Brian Hines last time, and then Dominique Price making sure that even if he's down, pulling that ball away to give them something to talk about.
There's Jim Augustine, the Big Ten technical advisor upstairs. He's already overturned one call. And here's a look that you will see from the end zone.
Looks like his knee goes down and then the ball comes out, but there's no official again right there. Watch this knee. Watch the left knee, or the right knee, excuse me, go down, and then the ball comes out. So you have Dominique Price hitting him first. And then over the top, Nick Roach definitely down, and then the ball comes out.
Doesn't seem to be quite as obvious as the first one. He's going to have to take a closer look at this. But all you need is the knee down. This is why they have replay. Joe Paterno has benefited from one call that's been overturned so far in this game.
And this time the Penn State defenders are out there. Last time they kept both offenses out. It's a great look here. And you're going to see his knee go down. Right there. Yep. And then the ball comes out right after that. But the key to it is we have the ability to slow it down at fast speed like we saw the first time. It's a little bit harder to see.
And they're taking a little bit longer to decide how to rule this play. 13:07 to go, third quarter. Opening moments of a 7-7 game between the Wildcats and Nittany Lions. I think the other thing you have to look at it from a couple of the angles that we saw, Charles. You see the knee down, but there's also a defender in the picture, and it's when that ball actually pops out. We see it come out, but is it indisputable? It looks like early indications are it will be overturned.
After further review, there is indisputable video evidence that showed that the runner's knee was down. Therefore, the ball back to Penn State. Third down.
Penn State in the replay 2, Northwestern nothing.
And they got an opportunity, and both times it involved Tony Hunt.
Well, he's fighting for the extra yard, but he's got to be told, keep it simple right here. You're making progress.
First and 10 for the Nittany
Keep
Lions
that ball in.
24.
Right there, the knee is down. Then the ball pops out right after that from that angle.
So Penn State benefits from the instant replay, getting 2 fumbles overturned. They get to keep the ball, second down and short. This time they give it to the true freshman fullback Matt Hahn, and he fights to get the first down, and it's going to be close. The true freshman fullback getting a couple of calls here this afternoon. You see the youth movement starting to come in.
Starting to sprinkle those guys in, and the seniors are older players on the team. You kind of sense when the tide is changing. Zach Mills talked about it in the press conference this week. But also there's another thing that's going on. Penn State right there, you think, okay, second and short. Do we try to go up the field? Let's play action pass, maybe get the ball down the field, because in second and short, you have a chance. Now it's third and short. They need to pick up a first down.
Third and less than a yard. Hahn stays in the block. Mills keeps it straight ahead, first down on the sneak. Penn State keeps the drive alive. They get the benefit of the overturn on the fumble to keep the ball, and Mills keeps it alive on 3rd down and short with the sneak.
And that's just a nice play and movement by that offensive line, in particular Easy Smith. He picks a side. Wherever the nose guard is, he tries to go to the opposite side. They get the push, picked up the 1st down.
Mills, heavy rush, and he's forced to throw it early and incomplete. Looking for Hahn. Northwestern getting a good rush, good pressure.
Mills is limping around a little bit.
Barry Cofield in for Northwestern to force that pass.
It looked like he was in the backfield before Mills ever had a chance to settle down and set up to throw the football.
Galen Hall really respects that Northwestern defensive line. Really had a lot of praise for Cofield, Clark, Castillo, Howard. Fake the reverse. Hunt keeps it. A lot of running room. Gets hit. Spins down to the 13-yard line. Looks like he picks up enough for the 1st down. Herschel Henderson makes the tackle for Northwestern. Time now for the Red Roof Inn Red Zone Proficiency. Save at Red Roof Inns with Red's hot deals and special discounts you only get online at redroof.com. Penn State today 1 for 1 in the red zone. And the touchdown, the key on that score.
You know, Tony Hunt, you look at him, and what he does is he does a lot of spin moves. You can tell he played basketball in high school. That's the one thing coaches like sometimes, but they don't like, because he put the ball on the turf twice today.
And Hunt trying to salvage something, stays on his feet. A flag comes down, however, as he's tackled inside the 10-yard line. Trying to make something out of nothing there on a broken play.
I think they're going to call that against Michael Robinson. He was trying to pick up a block for him. The busted play just didn't look like it was going to go anywhere. And what we talked about, Tony Hunt's spin moves, had about 3 or 4 of them.
Block in the back, number 87 of the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty, previous spot. Repeat, 1st down.
John Bronson, one of the tight ends, was caught.
You're going to see Bronson. This ball has gotten away. And Tony Hunt again with the spin. Bronson comes in and does that. Michael Robinson goes right over to the official and tried to talk him out of calling that penalty.
Northwestern 22.
Now it's 1st down and 20. This is not the direction you want to go if you're Penn State already in the red zone, and that's the other way. Mills sets up the screen. Hunt goes down and snipped out very nicely by Tim McGartner. Let's check in with Mike Lee. Illinois looking for their first Big Ten win, and so is Penn State, locked up in a 7-7 game here with Northwestern. They've got the ball 2nd down and 17 from their 20-yard line. Mills throws incomplete. Looking for Mark Rubin. That just didn't work.
You know, I think Zach Mills is still struggling with that shoulder. You know, he hurt it earlier in the year, and it just doesn't look, he doesn't look comfortable sometimes when he's throwing the football, particularly on those long outs. It's like he's trying to really rear back, and he just doesn't have the ability to throw the ball like he wants to. And every time he's throwing those balls outside, which are further distances or a little bit farther for him to throw, the ball just takes off on him.
There's Anthony Morelli, the true freshman, who we've been told we would see at some point today. However, it is a 7-7 game. Mills on 3rd down now at 17. This time hands it off to Hunt. Tries to pick up some extra yards. Gets tackled inside the 15-yard line. And still about 11 yards shy of the 1st down. So they set up the field goal. And Robbie Gold will come in.
Penn State clearly playing for a field goal on that play. You know, when they've gone with a lot of screens today and draws. More of a safe play. Trying to set up Robbie Gold for that field goal.
And trying to take the lead in this game for the first time. 31-yard attempt. And Gold is 1 out of 2 from 30 to 39 yards out. And this one sails wide, no good. So a missed opportunity for Penn State. Northwestern will have the football when we come back. And when we come back, we'll get to know the big, powerful runner from Northwestern, Noah Herron. We'll get to know him and the Wildcats in a 7-7 game in just a moment. Robbie Gould has not had a successful year trying field goals, only 4 of 10 now with his most recent miss from 31 yards out that keeps the score 7-7. Northwestern with the football for the first time this half after the turnover, and Herron on the big run picks up 15 and gets knocked out of bounds. And let's get to know Noah Herron a little bit better.
Noah Herron. I'm actually a 5th-year senior. I'm a pass receiver, you know, I'm a pass blocker, and I'm a run blocker. Michael Jackson. Billie Jean. Yeah, I'd like to use the word tumultuous. It's a very, very demanding school academically. Pursue the NFL, and after that, stay as close to the game as I can.
That's Noah Herron, and straight up the middle. Leslie with the stop for Penn State, and Dan Connor as well. And how about the music selection, Michael Jackson? That one stands out most, I think.
Was it Dangerous or Billie Jean?
Billie Jean, I think. Billie Jean. How about Herron, though? 11 rushes for 83 yards, 7.6 yard average. You said he needed 125 for this team's key to win.
Well, I think because in their games he's had 119. He's on pace right now.
Bazinet on the quarterback draw right up the gut, and it's a first down. Let's check in with Mike Gleason. All right, they're well on their way back with that lead there, and in our game, much tighter. Still 7-7. Each team has missed field goals on their most recent tries to try to get something more on the board. As after the first down, Herron gets a couple. Ali there, the stop for Penn State.
Trying to spread them out and really work inside. Only 6 defenders in that box. And they get 2 wides on both sides, trying to get Noah Herron inside where he can make some moves. But Tamba Hali right there to stop it.
Talk about what Herron has done. He's the only one that's rushed for over 100 yards against Wisconsin's defense. We talk about how good Penn State's defense is. As they slow him down here. Here comes a flag. Knocked out at the 50-yard line. All that for a couple of yards, but this flag looks like it may go against that Northwestern offense.
Illegal block in the back. Number 2 of the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat. Second down.
They did this the last time. They got the turnover or got an opportunity and didn't capitalize, and now they're doing it again. Now, Ashton Akins trying to block there and create some movement for or an opening for Noah Herron, but holding on a little too long. And when the defender turns his back to you, that's when you have to let him go.
Ashton Akins, the 6'2", 200-pound senior. He's had plenty of opportunities to block, but those are tough.
You remember last time they had a 30-yard run from Noah Herron. They were moving the ball, and then penalty after penalty stopped them in their tracks.
Second and long, Bazinet out of the shotgun. Pass is complete to his tight end, Taylor Jones. Let's check in with Quint on the sideline.
Craig, this week when we talked to Northwestern coach Randy Walker, he had to downplay the bowl implications of this game. Early in the season, he puts up 3 numbers to his teams: 7, 10, and 12. Those are the number of wins that they're aiming for. 7 wins to play a bowl game in December, 10 wins to play in January, and 12 wins to play for it all.
Magic number for this club, get to 7 right now. They've got a tough road to hoe on the way, and this one falls incomplete.
Both quarterbacks have not looked good, Craig, on throwing those out routes, whether they're 15 yards down the field or even 10 yards. The ball is just taken off. Bazinet there, Zach Mills before him.
And now it is 4th down, and the Wildcats need to win 3 out of the last 4 to become bowl eligible. They play a 12th game at Hawaii, and they need to be in a position where they're not any more than losses really going into that game, what they are right now. Because if they have 5 and lose that one, they're out. And we have a timeout. We're coming back in just a moment to Beaver Stadium. American elm trees gracing the mall, the University Park campus. Ball is in the air, leaves are blowing around. A beautiful day for football here, and we are locked up 7-7. With 7:04 to go in the third quarter. Penn State, the football, pitched back to Hunt, looking for some room, and he is a second effort type of back.
You don't want to take that away from him, but the one thing it does is it puts him in a position to give the ball away.
Let's check in with Quint.
Craig, earlier in the game, we featured Michael Robinson, wide receiver for Penn State, and he has had a less than stellar day so far. As a passer, 0 for 1 with a key interception early in the game. Only 1 catch for 12 yards and 0 rushing yards. So Michael Robinson has not been the factor that Penn State needs in terms of explosive plays.
Hasn't had an opportunity to rush the ball, but they went to him, dropped a couple of passes, made 1 key reception. We haven't seen him in the second half at all. Mills rolls out to his left, and there it is. There's Michael Robinson. Makes a big catch out to the 40-yard line. Herschel Henderson there in defense, but not before. Robinson picks up 21.
And that's what you have to do. You have to design plays to get Michael Robinson in one-on-one matchups. Zach Mills is going to work to his right and then come back to his left. He fakes the handoff and then has opening. Nobody there. This is an easy throw for him, a lefty, getting the ball right there. Now, he's had some problems throwing the ball from a straight drop back position. They put him in a position where he can throw it right on the dart.
Hunt splits off to the top of the screen. Mills fakes, pumps, looking for Robinson, and yes, this one slipped through his hands. Good coverage out there by Marvin Ward. Second down and 10.
Real nice breakup by Ward, and he's telling Michael Robinson, don't bring that over here now. If Zach is going to throw it to you, you better put it there where you can get it.
Well, you go to the hot receiver who just had the big catch at 21. You want to go right back to him, don't you?
They need to get him the ball. Whenever he has an opportunity with the ball in his hands, and the things that he can do after the catch is even more exciting.
Penn State at their own 41. Second down and 10. It's time to Hunt, and he'll be caught behind the line of scrimmage. Henderson again. Let's check in with Mike Leeson.
Craig, that's a tough play, that one we just saw from Penn State trying to throw against this Northwestern team, because they see bubble screens all week long and all during the fall, because that's what their offense runs a lot of.
Third and long again. This time, Mills lets it fly for Robinson, and I'm not sure that he saw the football very well. He turned and looked, and it sailed over his head.
You know, if he had kept running, I think he didn't know exactly where the ball was going to go. Marvin Ward played the ball better than Michael Robinson did on that particular play. And that's one of those little nuanced things that when you don't play receiver a lot, the deep balls are harder to gauge sometimes, because you can catch the ones you come back to, or the ones that you kind of settle down over the middle. But when you're running and trying to go to it, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult.
And Sean Herbert back to receive this punt from Kapanos. And the last time he was receiving the punt, he misplayed it and turned the ball over to Penn State. Flags come in before the snap.
Penn State had a lot of movement. It's going to be something with the formation.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 31 of the kicking team. 5-yard penalty remains, fourth down.
They had a lot of movement. It looked like it confused even them. They confused themselves. And Poslusny, one of the defenders who's on the punt team, started too early.
7-7 game, 3 minutes to go, third quarter. Joe Paterno and Penn State looking for their first Big Ten win of the season, as they put an extra second back on the clock. You know, when it's tied, every second counts, because you never know at the end of the game if it's still tied.
Especially the way the Northwestern team plays. They rely on getting it close to the end and trying to pull it out. So
Kapanos awaits the snap. And a Very good punt. Herbert back at his 19, gets taken down right away. And a nice job by Alan Zamitis on special teams. Just under 5 minutes to go, third quarter, after the 48-yard punt. Big Ten football, Northwestern and Penn State. We've got a good one brewing. It's a tie game here from Beaver Stadium. Charles Arbuckle, Quint Kesnick, and I'm Craig Kishon. We've got you covered right here as we take a look at the Penn State defense. No team has scored over 21 points this season against Penn State. And it's kind of interesting that they have been that successful because only Wisconsin, Auburn, and Texas nationally can say that. But look where those other three teams rank.
And look at the offensive productivity of those other teams as well.
All BCS contending teams. And when you get a defense as well as Penn State has played all year, you'd hope at least that would give you pretty close to a 500 record, but it simply hasn't happened offensively for Penn State.
And it's easy for that defense to start pointing the finger. You think about what they've done in Big Ten play. I think 7.5 points a game. So they're holding Northwestern at their average.
Bassinet in the rollout, fires. And it is caught out there by Fields. Beautiful day for football here at State College, Pennsylvania. Sun's been out all day, nice clear day. Big crowd, near 100,000. And it is tied. Third down and 2. They're cheering on that Penn State defense. Herron, handoff, first down. Look at him go. Finally down at the 35-yard line. He is go-to, go-to, go-to.
Got up that time a little bit shaken up. I think the thing with Herron, he gets stronger as the game goes on, but I think those Penn State defenders know he was shaken up early, and they're trying to do everything they can to hammer him every time they get a chance. And you see good blocking right there. The hole opens up, and he's good at finding that hole, and when it does, he runs downhill. Now he gets tackled around his ankles. Hopefully it's not anything serious.
On first down, Bassinet downfield. Oh, and it's dropped out there by Kim Thompson. It looked like the ball was there, Charles.
It was there. Calvin Lowry didn't have a chance to make a play. Kim Thompson, the young receiver out of Detroit Country Day, has a chance to catch the ball. You're going to see Calvin Lowry come over, but that shouldn't stop him. Kim Thompson, the ball hits him in his best spot, the hands.
Talk about the penalties and missed opportunities. You can't blow that one.
No, you got to have that catch.
Kim Thompson, only 2 receptions coming into this game, filling in for the injured Fillmore. This time the catch and the run and another first down. Ashton Akins.
They want to give Kim Thompson a chance to play because he's got so much speed. 100-meter champ in Michigan his senior year in high school. But you have to work against. He's going to find the area. Bassinet works over. Good job of moving over and then just finding the void in that zone. Ashton Akins with a nice catch, but Bassinet buying himself some time.
From the 49 on the short run, let's take a look at the Marathon Fast Facts. As Herron runs the football, here's what they look like. It's the turnover situation. Northwestern has coughed it up twice, Penn State once, and the turnover on each side has led to each score in this game to make it 7-7.
It's like neither one of the teams wants to take advantage of an opportunity to win the ball game. Kim Thompson with that drop, possibly a touchdown after that. Need to find a way to win a ball game.
Well, you get the sense that Northwestern's trying to open things up a little bit more. Bassinet taking some chances, and this time finds his receiver over the middle. Herbert on a nice catch, and he gets clobbered on the tackle by Dan Connor. Not before he picks up another first down. They're going downfield more.
And this is the fear for Tom Bradley. He talked about those guys spreading it out. Now, Bassinet makes a throw that you don't like to see, but he knows he can get it in between those linebackers. I mean, Dan Connor is there, Paul Puslesny. He puts it right in the perfect spot for Herbert.
Herbert played bigger than his 6'1" frame, a 16-yard pickup. This time on the reverse, going the other way, and it's Jonathan Fields carrying the football and picks up a good gain. Connor chases him down. Herron drew a crowd.
And Basney did a very good job of picking up a block to kind of help spring it.
2nd and 5 for the Wildcats from the Penn State 28.
Brett Favre-like, huh?
I wouldn't go that far, but it was a nice block. He wasn't afraid to stick his head in there.
2nd down and 5. Herron bounces off one tackler, gets down to the 25-yard line. Matthew Rice the stop. And Herron a couple of yards shy of the first down. Northwestern chewing up some clock here on this opportunity on this drive. 10th play coming up.
Good job of the offensive line working this way. They want to work that way. And what that does is that allows him to come and cut back. Look at Herron. He finds the hole, and then he's able to cut back. That zone blocking, they get on Penn State, and they know that they're fast. We want to move them this way and then cut back the other way.
There's the drive, 58 yards and counting. Herron, big hole. Inside the 15, brought down at the 12-yard line. Another first down on 3rd down and short. Big run by Noah Herron.
The cobwebs are clearly cleaned out of his head because you see now he's finding the hole. And I think he sees the hole even before it opens up. This offensive line behind Matt Ulrich and Zach Streif right there, and Taylor Jones just do a very good job of getting open, making the opening for him, and then they get the first down.
Pickup of 13 yards. First down from the 12. There's Herron, 114 yards rushing on the day. It's the call again. He's averaging nearly 7 yards a carry, and he is carrying Northwestern very close to a score here.
The Penn State defense gives up 117 yards a game, but this guy right here, the 7 yards a carry is what's helping. It's getting you in a situation. They're tired at this point. They played a long season where they had to be the ones to win the games so often than not, and I think it's starting to hurt them as the season goes on. You see them slowly walking off the field right now.
Well, these teams have grinded it out for the first 3 quarters. The 3rd quarter comes to an end, and we are still 7-7 in this game. We're going to come back with the start of the 4th quarter in a moment. Code blue in force here at Penn State as we are ready to start the 4th quarter. Northwestern and Penn State 7-7. Matt Ulrich, Chesty trying to lead Northwestern to the go-ahead score. 2nd down and 5. As they are very, very close. Getting closer is Herron. Let's go down to Quint with more on that offensive line.
Craig, Northwestern's offensive line starting to exert their dominance. Talking to head coach Randy Walker this week, he loves working with these guys. He says, in an era of overhyped athletes, my offensive line is without ego. They only care about 3 things. What's for dinner? Is the pizza delivery here good? And are we doing sprints after practice today? And there's a tight end next to you up there yesterday that seemed to only care about dinner himself.
Tell me about it. Every meal. 1st and goal for the Wildcats. Herron trying to punch it in. Northwestern touchdown.
Being an honorary lineman, you like to see that when a lineman get a surge, because you get a chance to feel the flavor of catching the ball, but also spending time with the big uglies, getting touchdowns like that.
It's all about flavor, isn't it?
Oh, it is. The flavor, the savor.
On the first play of the 4th quarter now, Northwestern dives ahead. Noah Herron, who has had the clinching touchdowns in the last 3 victories for Northwestern. Trying to pick up their first road victory of the year. And now Huckman comes out to try to tack on the extra point. And it is good. So now the Wildcats jump out in front. An impressive drive, 13 plays, 83 yards, and that offensive line leading the way for Noah Herron as Northwestern takes a 14-7 lead over Penn State. Good picture of why they call this man Chesty. Matt Ulrich leading the way for Northwestern down that offensive line, and the Wildcats grab a 14-7 lead over Penn State as we are early in the fourth quarter. And Scott lets this kickoff bounce into the end zone for the touchback for Penn State. Let's take a look at that O-line for Herron in work on that drive.
Let's think of a few years back. Matt O'Dwyer, another Northwestern guy. Matt Ulrich this time is going to take his guy in there. The center comes off, take him there. When you have that kind of push, watch Matt Ulrich against Ed Johnson, 92. He just takes him back, gets under the pads, and drives him back. There was clearly about 4 yards established by that offensive line. Lower Herron all the time in the world.
That caps our BMW ultimate drive of the game. Herron 8 carries for 42 yards on that 13-play, 83-yard drive that chews up 5:22 on the clock. So Penn State trying to come back and answer. Down by 7. Robinson makes the catch just off the grass. Let's check in with Mike Lee. All right, Mike and Coop, thanks a lot. Michigan State making a nice comeback in their game. Robinson, a nice catch to set up 2nd down and 5. Hunt the carry, 1st down, still on his feet. Crosses the 35, brought down at the 37-yard line.
How T. Hunt got his groove back. He is running with some authority, and you see Noah Herron. Sometimes when you watch on the other side or you have a chance to see a running back do some nice things, it motivates you. And that play in particular was a very nice start one way, cut back the other way, pick up 12 yards.
12 yards for Tony Hunt, the sophomore. A lot of promise from this tailback in the future. First down and 10. That's the call again. And runs into a tough nut to crack there on that defensive line for Northwestern. Maybe a couple of yards.
We talked about Tony Hunt before, but this defensive line, Lauren Howard has been banged up, not quite back up to speed, but he's the emotional impact leader of this defensive front. He and Louis Castile playing hurt. The left end, the left defensive tackle. Castile playing with a bad arm, and Lauren Howard with a banged up ankle.
Howard making his return a couple of weeks ahead of time. And they said it really has brought an emotional lift to this squad. And Clark comes in with the stop. And Northwestern's defense matching what the offense did. Come out making a statement on each side of the football.
5th-year senior out of Austin, Texas. You know what he does? He just works on E.Z. Smith, gets by him, uses those hands. The karate movement, wax on, wax off. Get off of me, and I'm going to get Zach Mills.
A loss of 4 yards, so that puts it back down to 3rd down and 12. Hunt, 22 carries. He's been a workhorse, 91 yards. Have not come easy. And Zach Mills, the play clock runs down to 1, and he's forced to call the 2nd timeout. That's the 2nd timeout of the 2nd half, so they're down to 1 in a tight game.
You know, that's the kind of things you can't do, and that's offensive communication. How many people are calling the plays? How long is it taking to get the plays in? It manifests itself to the player, but what are the coaches doing to get those plays to the players?
They're the final step, obviously, in the process. Joe Paterno's been calling some plays. Galen Hall's been calling some plays. But the head coach, Joe Paterno, gets the final call, obviously, the final say.
Yeah, he does, and that's the thing. They have to get that communication line done quicker.
So the communication line, or lack thereof, has been apparent in this game as Penn State really used that big turnover at the end of the half to get their touchdown. They're still looking for that first impressive offensive drive of the game.
And that's what this fan base has been around a long time. You watch a lot of football. These people have grown up with Penn State, and that's the one thing they don't like. The ineptness of this football team on offense right now is really frustrating when you have such a good defense.
3rd down. Mills looks, throws, caught by Robinson. No, incomplete. They said he bobbled the ball. while he was being knocked out of bounds, never had control. Marvin Ward there on coverage. So now 4th down, and Penn State forced to punt.
He and Marvin Ward have been going at it. I thought Michael Robinson made a nice play because he went up and really tried to snag the ball out of the air. He's working that route, running that comeback out. Marvin Ward covered with him. Now he snags the ball. He comes down, but they say he's bobbling the ball as he hits the ground.
When he hit the ground, and it clearly came out. So 4th down now, and Capano's back in to punt. Sean Herbert stands back about his 27-yard line. So Northwestern's D holds. They're going to get the football back. Good booming punt. Fair catch call and marked at the 14-yard line. 51-yard punt. When we come back, the Cardiac Cats been in so many close games. We'll look back in just a moment. Well, the wave is working here at Beaver Stadium. Northwestern a 14-7 lead over Penn State. The faithful sticking around because their team very much in it. However, it's Northwestern football, and Noah Herron carries up to the 18-yard line. Let's check in with Mike Leeson. Wow, a couple of barn burners going on, one late and one early. And we've got a good one right here as well. Wildcats by 7. Herron straight up the middle, looking to power to another 1st down as he crosses the 25. And they've been in so many tight games, these Northwestern Wildcats. They've kind of nicknamed themselves the Cardiac Kids. Last 3 close calls. Ohio State, Noah Herron scores in overtime against Indiana. The 3rd overtime, Herron scores again. And then against Purdue, it's Herron going in on the big drive, 84 yards in 72 seconds. And they're in a tight one again. Herron, this time no room to run, as he tries to get up near the 25-yard line, stopped by Ed Johnson.
Talked about this defensive line having to step up. This is the time now. Northwestern is clearly going to run the football when they have an opportunity to put the game away, run some clock out, and try to score as well. This is where this defensive front, Ed Johnson, Scott Paxson, Tom Bahali, and Matthew Rice have to step up and play big.
2nd and long. Bazinet keeps it. It's got some room to run. With his head down and brought down at the 34-yard line. He's going to be about 2 yards shy of the 1st down. Picks up 9 important yards.
Different dimension that he brings to you. And Noah Herron's going to pick up a nice block on Scott Posluszny. You might not see it there on the screen, but it allows him. You can see Posluszny coming in late. He had to honor Herron, and then that allowed Bazinet to get up inside.
3rd and 2 for the Wildcats. Their lead is 7. Herron powers ahead, and another 1st down. And it's becoming very difficult to stop this Northwestern offense. Let's check in with Quinn on the sideline.
Craig, when Randy Walker took over at Northwestern in 1999, the first thing he did was establish a motto: finish. Finish the drill, finish the play, finish the quarter, finish the game, and finish the season. And I think if you look at the close games they've been in this season, winning 4 out of 6 close games, they have really taken that motto and run with it.
They absolutely have. And he's got a couple of other goals, and one's to get to the 4th quarter with a chance to win, and play, of course, to finish. And the other one is to play for something in November. And this is what this Wildcat team has had a chance to do. Short gainer for Herron. Dan Connor the stop. And we talked about Northwestern being the Cardiac Kids, playing a lot of close games down the stretch. And we saw head coach Randy Walker, and he was in the hospital just last week, diagnosed with a heart condition. And he missed a couple of days of practice, very tired, very fatigued after the Purdue win on Saturday. It has basically had to take it easy, use a golf cart to get around in practice, and is kind of on this diet, if you will, of taking it easy for the next 3 weeks or so. 2nd down. Herron, and a flag comes in. Let's check it. As the flag comes in here, And again, these if this is against Northwestern, plenty of these to stifle these drives.
Holding.
And it's going to be a holding call.
64. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. Second out.
That puts the Cats back, and let's check in now with Quint.
Craig, on Randy Walker's health, he says he's feeling stronger and stronger every day. After the Purdue game, he said he was wiped out, so he's changed his schedule. His doctor says, hey, you can go to school early, do your work, but come home for lunch around 10:30, take a nap, have a nice relaxing lunch, and then go back to school at 1:30 in the afternoon for meetings and practice. Coach Walker was very complimentary of his assistants and the players while he was out and while he's been less than 100%, really carrying the load.
Craig, that sounds almost like the 20-hour rule that they put on the players, and that's going to be hard for him to maintain because he is such an intense, hands-on guy.
Straight ahead. Helmets fly. It's physical down there.
They better be careful, Penn State. They better not allow themselves to get a penalty call.
Let's check in with Mike Gleason.
It was Edwards this time again.
He is something special. Woo.
3rd down and 14. Crowd comes alive for that Penn State defense. They need the football back, trailing by 7. Bazinet, ball batted down. Lamont Chisley, his 6'5" frame stretches out and knocks it away.
Fanning out to the screen. He recognized the screen coming, and Bazinet had nowhere to throw it. Now, he was worried about throwing it too low like he had that call before, so he had to get rid of the football. Good job. You're going to see Chisley work inside and work all the way back out and knock the ball down. That was great hustle play by Chisley. Saw him in film this week, sometimes thinking too much. That was a reaction play. Good job by Chisley.
Second pass batted down for the Penn State defense. Lowry set to return the punt. Fields it at his 20. Tries to get his bearings. And we do have a flag down at the 25-yard line. 46-yard punt, 10-yard return. And Penn State may lose their field position.
Pickens on the stop.
Penn State trying to get back on the board.
Illegal block in the back, number 14 of the receiving team. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, Joe Paterno again, the sigh. His team loses a little field position there, but they'll have the ball and we come back. Welcome back to Beaver Stadium in State College, Pennsylvania. Our Big Ten football game between Northwestern and Penn State is going down to the wire. It's a 14-7 game, and check this out. Northwestern ahead but winless here at Beaver Stadium. And they haven't played in a game like this at all at Beaver Stadium, a close game. But they are ahead by 7. Randy Walker said a couple of years ago, and his team lost big, 49-0. He said, you know, a lot of kids are still on this team. They remember it. They came back, won last year, but they wanted to come here for a little payback. And they're in position to do that right now. The clock ticks away, just under 7 minutes to go. Penn State will have something to say before it's over. The screen to Hunt, first down. Plenty of running room. It's finally brought down at the 33-yard line. A little extra pushing and shoving down there. But Penn State will have a first down after a pickup of 14 yards.
Tony Hunt's going to be a little sore tomorrow. He's going to have to get in that whirlpool because he's carrying a lot of this load today.
Well, he's versatile. We're seeing two great versatile backs in the Big Ten, both running and catching the football.
Has had 2 games this year with 100 yards or more receiving.
Michael Robinson comes out of the backfield. Mills straight back. Pass complete. Finds his big tight end, Isaac Smolko. And Penn State's moving the football. Another first down.
If you're thinking of old-time tight ends, you'd have thought that was Troy Drayton going down the field. That was a nice pass by Zach Mills getting into the seam. McGargle was running right with him, but he just puts it right over the top. That's the toughest throw to make for a quarterback, and the tight end knows he's going to get hit from behind, but he doesn't worry about the guy in front. He just reaches up and makes the catch.
Smoko's been a nice target for Zach Mills. 20-yard pickup on that last play. They're at the 45-yard line of Northwestern, trailing by 7. Mills rolls out. Now gets chased the other way, finds Hunt. And a good open field tackle at the 40-yard line made out there by the Wildcats, Brian Hines.
These guys for Northwestern do a very good job of tackling. I mean, you don't see them miss a lot of tackles, and when they do, they're sure tackles. They look the guys in the chest, really go through them, don't hit to them, but through them.
If you like pure tackling, you got to watch the college and high school level, don't you?
You
don't see it anymore on Sundays.
Well, and these guys, you know, that's what they practice, the fundamentals of getting that head in there and just driving through and making sure they're secure with those arms.
And met right away at that line of scrimmage. Warren Howard stops Hunt.
Talk about a sure tackle. I mean, that hole opened up, and I thought Tony Hunt was going there. And it's 66. And you want to talk about a guy that makes moves too. Look, he's going to get double, triple team. McGargle's trying to get off and get a holding call. They said, man, they got my number today.
You're the National Defensive Player of the Week. You draw some attention. 21 tackles a week ago. 3rd down, all important for Penn State, and 7. Mills out of the shotgun, throws, has a wide open Robinson. This time he catches it and gets knocked out of bounds, and a big 3rd down conversion for Penn State.
That was a good play because Michael Robinson gets behind Marvin Ward, and Dominique Price has to come way over. He doesn't have a chance to get there. Now Zach Mills pumps, fakes it, and just puts it right in between those two guys in that cover 2 no man's land.
Michael Robinson thrown to 10 times, 4 catches. This last one a 24-yarder. The 4 catches good for 63 yards on the afternoon so far. First down for the Lions inside the 20-yard line to the end zone. And incomplete. He was looking for Kinta Palmer. It's the first time today that he is thrown to the junior out of South Carolina.
Had a matchup with Marvin Ward. They've been picking on him. He wants to have a little smile, but this is a good job. Seam route, just running right down the field. Kinta Palmer looks like the ball is in his hands. If he comes down with it, that 1 foot would have been down. That would have been 6.
Going to the back of the end zone.
And you wonder, where has this been with this offense? They open up now. They're really attacking Northwestern's defense.
The screen, ball still in the air. Who's got it? Looked like it had bounced. Northwestern says it's their ball.
Northwestern's pointing in their direction, but the ball pops up. And there was a mass of guys right around there. That's the problem with the screen when you run it so much. They know the tendency of Penn State to watch for the screen, and whenever they see it develop, those linemen just start kind of shuffling over there.
Well, this is going to be interesting. Looked like Hunt
the
had
ruling on the field is the ball was caught by the offense and simultaneously recovered. Therefore, it goes back to the offense. 2nd down.
Well, we'll have to take another look at this one. This was an unusual one. A screen into traffic, there's no doubt about it.
Tie goes to the offender, and you can see he has the ball, but they have one guy down at the bottom trying to hold on to it. He has possession, but they're going to, you know, almost like that first in basketball where you have 2 guys fighting over the ball. One comes in real late. Clearly Tony Hunt's ball.
Well, it's helped that he has played basketball. A little tip pass. 3rd down and 10 for Penn State. Can they convert again on 3rd and long? Mills looks downfield to Robinson. Incomplete. Good coverage.
The only thing you can say is maybe the sun in his eyes, but I tell you, this is one of those situations where Michael Robinson saying, my bad on that. No, you should have that catch. But what happens when you have a guy playing mostly quarterback, running back, and then he has a chance to make a play? Sometimes it doesn't happen. There's 3 drops today by Michael Robinson. But you got to keep going to him. You have to keep going to him because he's such a special player in this offense.
4th down conversions on the season for Penn State, 4 out of 12. They have to try it here, down by a touchdown. Mills to Hunt, and he's going to be well short. Northwestern's defense just too good to let Hunt get the 10 necessary yards there. And the rush.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. You've relied all year on your defense. You put them out there with 3 minutes and 27 seconds. You have 1 timeout. You know, that was an opportunity there to get a chance to get going, and you don't get it.
All right, we'll take a timeout and come back in just a moment. Joe Paterno and Galen Hall elect to go for it on 4th down and 10, passing up a chance on a 36-yard field goal that could have gotten Penn State perhaps within 14-10, although Robbie Gould has already missed a field goal today. Western football.
Well, and if you're going to go for it, the type of play that you run has to dictate what you want to get. And that wasn't going to pick up a 1st down at all. I mean, he's flaring out of the backfield. There was no chance for Tony Hunt to really do anything with that play.
A little different to say it's 4th down and 2, perhaps.
Yeah, he's been able to make a guy miss. He can pick up 5 yards. But the flare pass where he's already starting 2 or 3 yards in the hole and then having to pick up another 10, that's not possible.
So Penn State now out of timeouts. They stop the clock with 3:18 to go. And time now for the Citgo player of the game. And it is Noah Herron. And what a workhorse he was today. 26 carries, 151 yards, and a touchdown, Charles.
I know you won't believe me at home, but my first mind was he had to have 150. He had 151. But that's good because he ran the ball hard, and after taking that shot early on in the game, you didn't know if he was going to be able to come back. The other thing about Noah Herron, he reminds me somewhat of a guy, look, out middle runs, power inside 120 and outside only 31. That's where they like to run Noah Herron. Very similar to Steven Jackson, who was a 1st-round draft pick out of Oregon State, and how they run similar running styles. I'm not saying that he's going to be a 1st-round pick, but has a lot of good potential because it's hard to find guys who like to run inside, and this is a pretty tough Penn State defense to run on in the middle.
Well, it's tremendous yardage that he has picked up in this game. 151, and now we'll see if that is good enough to help grind out the clock here and run it out on Penn State. Nittany Lions can't stop it anymore, out of timeouts. Herron straight ahead, big hole, 1st down. And he's delivering some punishing runs here against his Penn State defense now.
You know, he gets better as the game goes on. Talk about the Michael Jackson thing, Thriller. You know how Michael comes in shy, mild, and innocent. He becomes a monster. That's this guy when he's running the football. He's running downhill.
He may have to reconsider his choice of favorite tunes.
I'm going to tell you, the guys in the locker room are going to give him a hard time about that.
Let's take a look at the upcoming schedules in just a moment. Just under 3 minutes to go. Big guy gets the call again. And those upcoming schedules now brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. For the best parts, people, and price, we're ready in advance. And for Northwestern, at Michigan next week, then to close it out at home against Illinois, and then back out to Hawaii. And if they want to become bowl eligible, which of course they want to do to qualify, they need the 7 wins, including that game against Hawaii, to do so, because it's that odd time where you pick to choose to play 12 games almost on an elective basis.
You get a gift to go to Hawaii, but it hurts you in the going to a bowl game.
Can't have any more than the 5 losses. As Herron rumbles again, he had 165 yards before the last carry. And now to look at Penn State. at Indiana next week to be carried here on ESPN Plus, and then they close it out back at Beaver Stadium against Michigan State. And when they entered this game today, not giving up their thought on the season for Joe Paterno, but he said, let's start 2005 right now. Let's try to close out with 3 victories and carry that momentum over, make the necessary changes during the offseason. That was the thinking for this club entering today's game.
With each loss, the voice for getting Anthony Morelli on the field gets louder and louder, because you say you're working towards next year. This guy has to get in the ball game and get a chance to get his feet wet against live competition.
Well, it's interesting as time is winding down on Joe Paterno's club in this game. Hard to bring in the true freshman in a game that's been so close, 7-7 at halftime, and then Northwestern not going ahead until early in the 4th quarter.
And it was a situation where they were driving the ball. They really moved the ball in the second half. So when do you do it? You have to come up with a decision on, this is the time we're going to put him in and let's go with it. It's hard to question a guy that's, like Joe Paterno, a legend who's been around so many years and seen so much football played. But clearly they want to get the start going on the next season. And those seniors and those older guys understand that's a part of the price you pay when you're not winning.
Well, it seems like the future of the program is resting on the legend's shoulders. It appears to be up to him to see what the future holds for this club, whether it's next year or a year after, and where Penn State's program is going to go based on how long he wants to coach. Let's take a look at the Cooper Tire Defensive Player of the Game. Tim McGargle, 15 tackles. National Player on Defense of the week last week. As Penn State, I should say Northwestern, takes the knee, and that should do it.
He's just a tackling machine. Loves to tackle and play and be around the football.
So Randy Walker goes off victorious for Northwestern, their first road victory of the season, a 14-7 win over Penn State as he meets Joe Paterno at midfield. The two coaches shake hands for Penn State. They fall to 0-6 in the Big Ten. Once again, our final score, 14-7 Northwestern. Let's go to the ESPN Plus College Game Day studio presented by
Walker, victorious coach for Northwestern. Your first win here at Happy Valley.
It's our first win. Northwestern's never won at this place. So it feels good, and I thought it was a courageous win by our players. We had some kids nicked up early, got a little disheveled because they were all special team injuries, but we hung in there. Our defense played great again. I'm really proud of the way they're playing. Our offense got it together, and I thought we executed well.
How was Noah Herron able to bounce back and put up such a big afternoon?
Well, it didn't look good there. They're in the first quarter, and he got kind of rocked, but again, he bounced back, and they felt like he came out of it real well. We're never going to put a kid at risk, but he came back and he played like a stallion. He was a great player for us today.
Thanks, Coach.